Hi, good morning, good
Good
afternoon.
morning. Good afternoon.
Hi, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Terry Rifkin.
Hi, Terry.
Are you Amy?
I am.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm very nervous. I haven't taught on, this is my first time teaching on Zoom. I'm just trying to get everything organized. So, what brings you to this class?
It sounded perfect. Actually, I didn't know whether I should be in beginning Hebrew or intermediate. I'm just not a fluent reader. And by the time I figure words out, everybody's long gone on the next page.
See how it goes. If you feel that it is too advanced, then we'll figure it out. But
Okay.
this week we're starting with Ein Keloheinu, and it's
Uh-huh.
not the most difficult reading in the Siddur. So
Right.
you might feel comfortable with it, and so let's see how it goes.
Okay. Sounds good. We're trying to plug
Are,
headphones in.
what Siddur do you use? Are you when? Oh, okay. Okay, now I'm in gallery view.
Okay, that should work.
Oh, I was hearing you before. Yeah, that's fine. So, okay, we're just going to, I hope that people don't mind that I haven't been able to figure out how to change, how to put a really nice picture in the background. So right now we're using my clean kitchen.
That's fine.
So you are in Rockford, Illinois.
Ask me again.
What? Where are you from?
Illinois, Rockford, Illinois.
So where is Rockford?
Where are you?
I'm in New York.
Where in New York?
I'm in Rockland County. I'm near a hot zone.
Well, the hot zone now or the New Rochelle that was the hot zone?
No, I'm on the other side of the Hudson River. I'm in the Muncie Spring Valley hot zone.
Oh, okay, Spring Valley. Okay.
I'm in the ultra Orthodox. I'm near the ultra Orthodox. And
I grew up in New York.
Where did you grow up?
Yonkers, New York.
I grew up on Long Island.
Where?
Merrick.
Okay.
But I haven't lived there for a long time. We settled in Rockland County.
Rockland County's a nice area, as I recall.
That's okay.
Well,
we've been here for almost 40 years, and back in the time it was affordable. So
we've been here in Rockford for 40 years.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
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 Okay, so I see Lori.
You were not expecting me because I have a funeral today, but you and I communicated.
Yes.
It turns out the funeral is not till 2, so I thought maybe I would at least be there for part of the class if that's okay.
That's perfectly fine. Lori, where are you located?
I'm in Oak Park, Michigan.
Oh, so wait, are you in Eastern time or Central time?
Eastern.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, yeah, stay for as long as you can. And I don't know that we'll run the full hour. As I was saying to Terry before, this is my first time teaching on Zoom. And, I have to, I'm going to put my cards right on the table. I'm very nervous about it. I'm very anxious about it. Been practicing with my husband. He's been my student all week. So I don't know that we'll go the full hour, and there will be no homework. I don't feel that I need to give you homework.
Okay.
You know,
Well, I'm ready to take notes.
okay. Susan, hi, how are you?
As am I.
Okay, Susan.
Notes, I need a pad. Wait a second. Where is a pad?
So Susan, I have a question for you because I have two Susans in my class list, but neither with the last name that's coming up on the screen.
Really?
Yeah.
I registered.
I'm sure that you did. I have a Susan Baldry and a Susan Schwerk.
No,
You're neither of those.
I am not.
Let me look on. So I had to redo the list so I could print it out and read it, but I don't. So it's fine. I'll just mention it to the powers that be.
Okay.
Let me just take down some. Let me just get a pen that writes.
I have to get a pad.
Okay. SCHMEID. Okay. Lori, so you're in Michigan. It was pretty scary there yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. I just got off the phone with a friend. We're like, just when you think it's not going to get any worse, it keeps getting worse.
Yeah. That it's a very and I promise that we will not. I don't really want to get into any kind of politics, but it is just in general a very scary time.
Yeah. Well, which is why I think what we're doing is a nice diversion.
Yes. Yes. So Susan, you know what? If you could just give me Susan, how do you pronounce your last name?
Schmeed.
Okay. If you could just give me your phone number and your email address, then.
Should I text it to you?
You know what? Let me give you. I'm going to see if I'm going to put my phone number and email address in the chat, so everybody should have it anyway. And then if you could just send it to me either way. Okay. So it's.
What is this?
Okay.
Okay, let me see.
Okay, so hello at all of the people who are first signing on. Sandy, I see you. And Eileen.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Gail, I see you. Let me just. I'm looking. I see a star silver, but I'm trying to, okay. I don't have, what is your name Star? It's hard for me to tell sometimes. What is your name?
Star.
Star, okay. And I also don't have you on my roster, which is, so again, if you could just email me your contact information so I could add it.
Sure.
That would be great. And I'll also make sure with, at Women's League that they have you down.
Okay, great. Put it in the chat. Is that fine? Or no? What's your email?
If you could email it to me, I put my contact information in the chat.
Okay.
Andrea, I see you there. Hi,
Hello.
Andrea. And Linda, I see you there.
Hi.
Hi. And Eileen, did I say hi to you, Eileen?
Yes.
Okay, so I will add Susan Reed and Star Silver to my roster, and again, make sure that Women's League knows that you're in the class. And we'll just waiting, 3, 6, 9, 10. Just waiting for a couple more. Oh, here's somebody else. Jan Shapiro, hi. You have another
Hi.
down there, hi. And, okay.
Okay, I sent it.
Okay, great. I'll look at my email afterwards.
Sure.
Hi, hello, Marilyn Klein.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Good. How are you? I also don't have your name in the on my roster. So again, if you could email me or text me your contact information, I will pass it on to Women's League just so I make sure that our lists match.
Okay, so sorry.
No, that's okay. And also, artists, I don't have you either.
Something's wrong with your roster.
You know what? It's old. It's like 3 weeks old already. So a lot might have changed since then. But I'll get it up to date certainly for the next time we and I welcome everybody, anybody and everybody. And I'm just waiting to see artists. I'm gonna write that down as well.
Can you hear me now?
Is this artist? I can hear you. I can't see you.
There's something wrong with my Zoom, and I'll have to start working on that. But I did not get any other materials to attend the class. Julia sent something, but when I clicked on it, all it did is it was like a page of code. So I don't know what book we're using.
Okay, so I will. To all of the, oh, there you are, artists. Okay,
yeah.
So artists, again, if you could send me your contact information, I will send you the link to the material the book that we're going to be using. And
okay.
Also make sure that women, again, my list is about 3 weeks old, and for whatever reason, maybe they didn't update me, but I'll make sure that Women's League's list is current so that any material that does go out will get to all of you.
And your email is A Schwartz at WLCJ?
No, it's adschwartz53@gmail. Can you order the book instead of using the PDF? I would have to find that out for you, Eileen.
It's not in print.
I bought it.
Print. Oh, where?
Amazon.
Okay. It must be, is it used?
You know, it doesn't even look like it had been opened. So, and it came in plastic. So I don't know if anyone ever pre-owned it, but it did sit in the garage for over a week before I brought it in the house. So, but truthfully, like you can't even tell that it was ever, I'm holding it up, you guys aren't, you just can't see that it was ever open. Nothing's like,
Wow.
yeah.
I also have the book. I
Wow.
had taken a class, a local class a few months ago. Everybody in the class was able to find the book used.
Okay. Good.
On Amazon?
Oh, I don't know what
Whatever,
site, but
okay.
yeah.
Between Amazon and eBay.
eBay.
Yeah, okay.
eBay. I was in an eBay mode a few years ago, and I sold a ton of stuff, and then it just got too complicated to take a picture and to do everything. But that's a good idea. So we're going to use the book. We're going to use some things that I have found online. We'll use our Sidor. And so, but it is cumbersome to print it out. That's for sure. A lot of pages.
Oh, are we talking about the Intel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Because I do have the Shalom Aleichem book, but this I printed out.
Yeah, and as I said, it was a lot. It was a lot of pages. So, and I'm going to attempt to screen share as well. So hopefully, you know, if okay, Beth.
Hi, sorry. Hi.
Hi, Beth.
I didn't realize I was
trying to go in and out here. Okay.
Oh, no, that's okay. Beth, I'm going to say the same thing too that I've said to several people. I don't have, welcome to the class. I'm delighted to see you, but I don't have you on my roster. So.
Okay. You know, I did register because that's how I was able to get into the Zoom with your password and your ID.
That's fine. It's just that Women's League needs to update. I need to get in touch with them this afternoon after the class, and we just need, I just need to make sure that we both have the same, that we're on the same page.
Okay, what info do you need from me?
Just if you could, I put in the chat my email address and my phone number. So if you could just email it to me or text it to me, that would be great.
Okay.
And I think that we should really begin because it's a little after 1, and you know,
and I'm sorry I missed the beginning. You're Amy, I assume.
I am Amy.
Okay, I'm going to put my email and my email and my phone numbers.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, and then I'll add that information to my list, and as I've said before.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome you all to the intermediate class. This is certainly my first time teaching on Zoom. So I'm a little nervous. I've been practicing with my husband. He's been a great student. I'm trying to, you know, I think I'm going to be honest with you. I'm nervous. There are going to be some screen glitches on the way. I think that overall, I'm hoping that we'll be able to learn with each other and from each other, and that, you know, when we finish at the end of the 6 weeks, that we will, you will have gotten from the class what you have set out to do. So in that light, I'm going to go, since I don't know, we all probably have different screens and who's next to each other. I'm just going to go around my screen, and if you could just, you know, introduce yourself, where you're from, and what brings you here, that would be great, because we're going to be spending a lot of time together over the next few weeks. So the first block I have, so Terry, why don't you go first?
Terry Rifkin from Rockford, Illinois.
And what brings you here?
Desire to learn to read Hebrew more quickly than I am able to.
Okay. So in the box, I'm next, and I'll introduce myself as well. I'm Amy Schwartz. I live in New City, New York, which is in Rockland County. And I'm actually not new to sisterhood, but I'm new to Women's League on a national scope. And what brings me here is I'm happy to share my joy of the Siddur and morning services with as many people as I can. So, and I hope I'm able to bring that over to you. I am not a formal teacher, but I've been teaching Siddur skills to people over the years, and this is my first class with adults. So we're in this journey together. Susan Schmid.
My name is Susan Schmid. I'm from Toms River, New Jersey. And you know what? I was told this was a beginner class.
Maybe that's why you're not on my list.
That's right, but I was told that the class was changed to the 9th at 1 o'clock.
Huh. Okay.
So I'm in the wrong class.
There's a separate beginner class.
This is an intermediate class.
Yeah. So I guess I'll leave.
Well, you're welcome to stay with us. Do you have any background in Hebrew, or are you really starting from the beginning? You want to give it a try?
I'm going to be like, you know, lost, I'm sure. But you know what? I'll stick around for a while. We'll see what happens.
Okay. And then we could talk afterwards.
Wait, so I probably even have the wrong book.
Do you have Ein Keloheinu?
No.
Oh, so you're in the wrong class. But I'm going to screen share. It's up to you. You're welcome to stay along, but if you think, yeah, you decide, and I'm going to move on to Lori.
My last name is Bolkowski. I live in Oak Park, Michigan for 48 years, originally from Rochester, New York. And I have been a perpetual beginner. But when COVID hit, we started having minions online. And I have found them to be tremendously useful. First, it was just every afternoon, but then they started introducing the morning minions. And it's just been an anchor for me to know every day, well, not the morning ones, not every day, that I am going to connect with people. And I'm going to connect with the language every day. And so that's making me want to maybe advance a little beyond being a beginner. So
well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay, Star, can you unmute yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Star, and I live in Clearwater, Florida, originally from Brooklyn. And I am at in this class because a little bit of a confession to make. I read Hebrew, but I don't know the names of the letters. I don't know the names of the vowels. And it's just always been an embarrassment to me. I'm not sure, you know, I really know the correct sounds and the correct pronunciations for everything. So I see this as a way for me to really learn something I should have learned a long time ago.
Okay. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay. Eileen, can you unmute? Eileen, can you unmute?
There we go.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm Eileen Lippo. I live about an hour northwest of Philadelphia. I learned to read and write Hebrew in Hebrew school when I was a kid. I'm a regular service goer. I actually teach adult Torah trope at my synagogue.
Oh, okay. That's great. Okay.
But I thought that this would be a good refresher for grammar and vocabulary. And got to do something while we're in quarantine.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here.
So. Nice to have you aboard. Okay. Sandy.
Sandy Carrollton from Rockford, Illinois. Terry and I are in the same congregation and sisterhood. And I, like some others, I took Hebrew, you know, growing up. And it's been a goal for a while to improve my skills. I can read, but especially have lost most of my translation. And although I know a lot of the service, I don't know a lot of what I've been reading about how things are put together. So looking forward to it.
Good, you're in the right place. Okay. Gail.
Hi, I'm Gail Purvis. I live in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. And the reason I'm here, about 3 years ago, I had my adult bat mitzvah. Never had Hebrew as a child. My parents, I lived in a house in an area where the girls didn't go. And I feel the B'nai Mitzvah class, we had like 11 weeks of Hebrew literacy, like once a week for like a couple hours. And, you know, I just didn't feel like, I mean, I learned the letters and a lot of words, but I feel like I'm really slow. And when I did my Haftorah portion, I mean, full disclosure, I'm in a choir and I learn by ear. So basically I listen to my tape and I just don't feel like I have a true grasp of it. I'm very slow reading, and I would really want to. I started taking a tropes class to learn to read Torah with our cantor, and then my mother got really sick, and I ended up not being able to finish that. So, and then of course, everything else happened. So. Yeah, so I'm looking for this to really move beyond that first book that I think was being shown before. Now I understand because I've seen that book before. So
yeah.
So that's my story.
Okay. Andrea, can you unmute? You're still muted. Okay.
How's that?
Yes.
I'm Andrea Stommel. I live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I learned Little Hebrew as a child. I was bat mitzvah as an adult and learned more, but I want to learn even more.
Okay.
So I was originally torn. I signed up for the beginner class, but the woman that I emailed with said she thought this might be a better fit. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, me too. I hope that's right.
But I'm looking forward to learning more.
Okay, Linda.
My name is Linda Wolf. I live in Beechwood, Ohio, which is near Cleveland. And I learned Hebrew in 1996 for my adult bat mitzvah. And the reason that I didn't know Hebrew is because I am a convert. I have continued to study Hebrew, and I also take conversational Hebrew. My son and his family made Aliyah last year. So I just keep wanting to do everything I can to improve.
Okay. Nice to have you aboard. Jan, you need to unmute.
Jan Shapiro, Bethesda, Maryland, which apparently is a place that's in the news a lot lately. Just a few miles from Walter Reed and NIH.
Okay.
I learned Hebrew when I was young. I went to Hebrew school, and then in college I took Hebrew. But it's a long time ago, and so I know the letters, I can read, but painfully slow. And so I would like to improve my fluency.
Okay. Okay. We'll try to work on that. Marilyn. Marilyn, can you unmute?
Marilyn Klein. I grew up on Long Island, raised my family in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. My youngest son went to school in Israel and married an Israeli girl. They live here now, and I'm doing everything I can, also taking conversational Hebrew and learning Hebrew. But I also thought this was the beginner class, so I don't know. I did do this class, once, but I still thought I was a beginner. So I don't know if I belong in this class.
I will say to those of you who are not sure that you belong in the class, see how it goes this first class. And if it's if you feel that it's too advanced, then either talk to me or talk to Julia or Ellen and transfer into the class that might suit you better. Okay.
Thank you.
Artist?
Yes, I'm Artis Wexler from a suburb of Minneapolis, Edina, Minnesota. So I'm your furthest west person, evidently, at this point. I also am in the wrong class, but this is the information I was given. I grew up in a non-Jewish community, so I had no opportunity to really study Hebrew until my adult bar mitzvah, years ago, as they say. And so I thought this would be a good way to do it. I can relate to one of the other speakers where she said it's painful to sound out the words. By the time I'm done with page 10, everyone else is on page 35. So that's why I'm interested. I'm also the co-chair of the Social Justice Committee for Women's League.
Ooh, okay. Welcome aboard. Okay.
Thank you.
Beth?
Hi there. Hello. Well, I believe I signed up for this class. I don't know why you don't have my info, but that's okay.
Not to worry about it. We'll get it out.
I was born and bred in Brooklyn, because you can tell from my accent. However, we did move to Roslyn, New York, and that's where I live now and raised my children. I would like a refresher course, and hoping I will learn how to read just the way this lady said before. I could be on page 3 and they could be on page 15 when I read. So I would like to,
become
read better. More proficient, yes, and understand a little more. When I was a child, the or was pronounced or, and now I don't believe it is. I think it's ah.
Yeah.
Right. So Okay, I learned the old way. So I want to relearn some of my things. Thank you very much.
We'll get you up to snuff. And you learned the Ashkenazi Hebrew, and now we're speaking Sephardi. We'll get you up to snuff.
Okay, thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, and Esther, you need to unmute, please. Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Esther Hellman from Rockford, Illinois, and I belong to the same synagogue as Terry Rifkin and Sandy Pitat and Carlson. And I want to improve my proficiency with Hebrew and my speed of reading because it's also painfully slow. I had a B'nai Mitzvah about 20 years ago and studied at that point, but have forgotten quite a bit and need quite a bit of refresher.
Okay, so welcome to everybody. I have a question for you because as I'm listening to all of your reasons for being here, I'm hearing a lot of improve my reading, become more familiar with the letters. So I'm wondering if you think, have you all had a chance to look at the Ein Keloheinu text?
No.
Because I'm wondering if that's really the best way for us to go to. I mean, we'll definitely use it because it has some really good resources. But I'm wondering if it's the best way for us to go to improve reading proficiency, as opposed to, let's say, opening the Siddur and just reading through Ein Keloheinu. Do you have any thoughts about that? No? Okay. So I'm gonna
So thank you. I just want to say I actually agree with that. I like that idea of including some of the prayer book and because it looks to me like the book goes very slow.
Yeah. For example, I felt that it was just even, so we start with Ein Keloheinu, and we will start with it, but it just seemed like what was going on in the text was extremely repetitious. And so, and I think with a prayer like Ein Keloheinu, which is, I'm sure we all know it by heart. And I think my goal is for us to be able to understand what, to know by heart, but like, let me say that again. We probably don't know it by heart. So the goal of this lesson would be to understand the order of Ein Keloheinu and then be able to sing it by heart. Because I know that I don't do it by heart. And I've been going to shul since I was 5 years old weekly. So I think we can do both. We can use Ein Keloheinu as a resource to understand a little bit of the prayer, but I think it might be more, we can also use text. So that leads me to my next question, and then we will get going. Do you all have access to a Siddur? Okay. How many of you, raise your hand, use Lev Shalom? Okay, and how many of you use, the other one is, Sim Shalom. Okay, so, and then so we're kind of divided because I have both in my house, but I think what I'm going to do, at least for this class today, is put up on the screen from the Lev Shalom. It has some nice explanations, got a little color in it, and we'll go from there. And going forward for the next prayers that we're going to do, I'll just print out and scan to each of you what we're going to be using from whichever Siddur I decide to use that particular week. Does that sound good? Okay. All right. So as I said, the goal of the class is really to become familiar with the language, with the Shabbat service, to understand the prayer. We all have a Siddur. So let's, before we actually go into the Ein Keloheinu itself, which is actually at the end of the morning service, let's open, and I will bring it in as well. Okay, this is my first screen share. So Okay. Can everybody see? What's on the screen? Let's see. Can you see what's on the screen? Is it coming up? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is going to sound like a mishmash, but let's all read together because when a lot of voices come in on Zoom, it's so maybe in your quiet voice, let's read together the invitation and the first paragraph under that, and then we'll get started. So an invitation. We invite you to join us on a voyage of discovery. We shall be searching for the meaning of words and the meaning behind the words, for the message of the prayers and the story behind the prayers, and for standard formulas of some prayers and for the hidden structures of others. Our book begins at a point where the Shabbat and holiday service ends with Ein Keloheinu. Religious experience is not linear, it's an ongoing cycle, end and beginning meet. Interestingly enough, one of the first religious words a very young child learns is the word that comes at the end of every blessing. So if we go to the next page.
I just want to say, like, we can see your computer screen, but we can't see the page of text.
Oh, thank you for telling me. All right.
Which, if you would like, I will just share the screen for you because I have it like on screen and big.
Okay. Do I have to do something to let you screen share with me?
Yes. So what you have to do is you have to make me co-host.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop the share so I can go into that. And I knew there would be some.
I spend all day on Zoom. Like, this is what I do for my job.
Oh,
so,
my God. Okay.
So I've been doing this since March.
Okay. So I'm going into my participants list and you are Jan.
Mm-hmm.
So I can make. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't chat before this. Okay, so, okay. So let's go to the next page. Okay, actually, I had something that I wanted to read about Ein Keloheinu with an explanation, which, if you don't mind, because I don't think, Jan, you don't have it, that I'm just gonna, now I'm all thrown off. Okay, sorry about this, ladies.
Go ahead and read it and I'll screen share when you're ready.
Okay. Okay, I've always been partial, this is from My Jewish Learning, Ein Keloheinu, a blessing explosion. I've always been partial to Ein Keloheinu, the deceptively simple, upbeat hymn that signals the approach of the close of the Shabbat morning service. It's fun to sing, and it generally means that Kiddush and refreshments are forthcoming. Ein Keloheinu was written originally to solve a problem. According to the Talmud, Jews are required to say 100 blessings each day. The regular weekday Amidah contains 19 blessings and is said 3 times daily for a total of 57 blessings. When, in combination with other standard prayers, it's not difficult to hit 100 blessing mark. But on Shabbat, the Amidah contains only 7 blessings of praise and thanks. The blessings of the supplication that form the long core of the Amidah are omitted because on Shabbat, imagine themselves in a world so complete, no supplications are needed. This means that on Shabbat, there is a blessing. Enter Ein Keloheinu, a rapid-fire blessing machine. Here's the first verse. None is Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kel Malkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu. None is like our God, none is like our Lord, none is like our King, none is like our Savior. And then it goes on to another blessing. Mi Keloheinu, Mi Kadonenu, Mi Keloheinu, Mi Kamoshienu. And it goes on, and just like that, these 5 verses, each composed of 4 lines of only 2 and sometimes 3 words, allowed the prayer to complete 20 unique blessings, review the history of God's relationship with God as told in the Torah, and steadily draw God closer. Not bad for one of the fastest prayers in the book. let's eat. So, all right, so let's see, Jen, if I can give you the full page of Ein Keloheinu that I have in my screen share. Just a second. Okay, so let's go. Unfortunately, I don't see all of you, which I would kind of like to be able to do. So, Jan, I'm going to speak with you afterwards, and maybe you can help me with a couple of these things. But in the meantime,
absolutely.
Okay, let's read it together, because if I was going to call on people to read, but I can't see who I'm calling on.
I'm going to leave because I really can't read. So
I'm so sorry, and I hope that if this class is not going as smoothly as you'd like, you'll give me another shot in a couple.
Oh, it's not you. It's the wrong class for me.
Oh, okay.
And I received the wrong information, so.
So I can't see who's talking. So tell me who's.
Susan. And so I apologize. I was given this information, so I guess I'm not going to learn this year either.
No. I think, no, you will be able to definitely call Ellen or Julia, let them know. And if they can't get you into a class this section, then I think they're starting again in January.
Oh, I see.
So you'll be able to do another one then.
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye. Nice to meet you. Okay. So now I can see you all. Okay. So.
Amy, can I just jump in and let you know that if you take the view, if you use the standard view and you click on standard view, for those of us who are following you, the text will appear larger.
I do standard view.
There's a little box that on, at least on my screen, upper right, it says view, and you can choose your view. It's not critical. I don't want to stop you, but it says, you can do side-by-side speaker, but I click.
Oh, I see. Yes. Yes. If I do standard.
There we go.
Is that better? For all of them?
I think we each have to do it, but it became, at least for me, it became larger.
Okay. All right. So I think let's do this, everybody. Let's sing it together first, and then we can break it down. 1, 2, 3. And
Ein Keloheinu,
you can do it by heart. Ein
Keloheinu, Ein Adonai, Ein Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonai, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Moshiachenu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshiachenu, Atahu Malkeinu,
How many of you were able to do it without looking? Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. So if we open to page 10 in the material in the guidebook, teaches us a great new thing, which is something that I just learned, and it was why I was able to do Ein Keloheinu by heart. If you look Jan, can
You
you?
want me to show you the page?
Yes.
Yes, please
Page
do.
10.
Thank God.
Okay. And if, can you make it larger?
Mm-hmm. Just take your fingers and spread it.
Oh, okay. So if you look at the first letter of each line, so you have Aleph and it goes all the way through. Then the second line begins with a mem, and the third line begins with nun. If you take those three letters and you put it into a word, it says amen. And it's interesting because we're ending our service with Ein Keloheinu, and that's how we end all our prayers, with the word amen. So it's a nice little cheat sheet to help us remember the order of Ein Keloheinu. Continuing down, so if we read together on the top of the page, it says Ein Keloheinu makes an important statement of Jewish belief. In addition, it also carries a hidden statement about prayer methodology. We shall try to unfold this hidden stanza step by step. Each line carries a full stanza. Each stanza consists of 4 phrases, and each of those 4 phrases repeat themselves. As we unravel the message of each stanza, we shall discover the code that governs the sequence of each stanza. And I think I just pretty much gave it away, because each stanza starts with Ein. Each section of each stanza starts the same, but if we put them all together, it says Amen and Baruch Atah at the end. So continuing down, this section of the page here, we have Keloheinu, like our God, Adonenu, Kadonenu, like our Lord, Kamalkenu, like our King, and Kamoshienu, like our Deliverer, or Mashiach, or like our Deliverer. And it repeats itself in each way. So then the third line is Nodeh Leloheinu, to our God, to our Lord, to our God, to our Deliverer, La'adonenu, Lamalkenu, Lamoshienu. And then the third verse, Eloheinu, just our God, our Lord, our King, our Deliverer. So maybe we could kind of, so I hope that kind of helps us to understand the structure of the Keloheinu. So moving to the next page. So the first part, it talks about the first part of Ein Keloheinu. In the first stanza, the first Hebrew word is Ein, which means none. In the second, Jen, can you move to the next page? So we have page 11. Yeah, okay, thank you. So we have Ein, and we have Mi, and we have Nodeh. So Ein means is that there is none. Mi is who is like our God, and Nodeh is let us give thanks. As in Modeh Ani, let us give thanks. Nodeh is also let us give thanks. Like our God, like our King, a Lord, like our King, and like our Deliverer. Going on to page 12. So now that we know the meaning of the verse, let's stop and think for a second. This is a good question. Why does stanza 2, why does stanza 2, which begins with me, come after stanza 1, which begins with there is none, who is, we give thanks. Any thoughts about why it's sequenced that way? Any thoughts, anyone? Let me just change my view. If you have a thought about it, just call out.
So it can spell the acronym, Amen.
Good. That's right. In each of those verses, Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kamalkenu, Ein Kamoshienu, it spells Amen all the way through. Any other thoughts? I think that's probably
Overload.
Yeah. And then I think there are, just going through this, it's a pretty basic prayer. It's a pretty simple prayer. Maybe I'm thinking that let's go to the page that I used before from the Siddur. Jan, if you don't mind, do I need to bring it up? And maybe we can go around the screen and each read a line. When I have.
Yeah, you have to put that page up. I don't have the page from your Siddur.
Okay. So,
can it be made larger?
You have to take your fingers and separate.
Okay, right.
Better?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so who's next to me on the screen? I can't. You know what, I'm going to go from my list and call because it's hard for me to see your names on I'm not getting a good vision on the screen. So I'll start with Andrea. Can you read the first line? Is Andrea there? Can she hear me? Does she need to be?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I think I more or less know it, but reading
you all kind of more or less know it.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Karolas. No, I'm off there. I don't.
Ein Kad. This letter here. Can you see? That? That's a dalet. So
Dalet. Okay.
Kadonenu.
Okay. So Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadosh. Yeah, you can come back to me.
Okay. Somebody else like to start?
Sure.
Okay. Who's reading?
I can read. It's start.
Okay.
The first line or the second?
Start with the second line.
Okay. Ein Kemalkenu, Ein Kemoshienu.
Okay. I'm trying to see who's the names of the people in my next box because I don't know everyone's name yet. And it's not, your names are not coming up in the boxes. So would somebody volunteer to start with me? And I'm going to work on this skill over the.
I'll do it. Beth will do it.
Okay.
Mi Keloheinu, mi Kadonenu.
Right. Okay. Actually, interesting. If you see where it says me, the next word Kelohenu, it's really ch, because it would be a ka if there was a dot
There's
in the
no
middle.
dagesh in the
Right.
letters.
So it's mi Kelohenu, mi Chadonenu.
But there is no dot in it.
Correct. So if there was a dot in the middle, it would be a hard sound.
Mm-hmm.
So this way, but in the first two verses where it says ein, there is that dot in there, so it becomes ein Kelohenu. Second verses mi Chelohenu, because there's no dot in the middle. So that's just a technical correction. Okay. Who wants to start with no death?
I can.
Okay. I'm sorry, your name is not coming up on my screen, so that's why I was filling out for
Linda.
volunteers.
No del Elohenu, no del Ladonenu.
No.
Yeah, finish that phrase. No del.
No del Lamoshe. No del Malkenu, no del Lamoshienu.
Okay. So, another person to start with start with Baruch.
I'll do that one.
Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu.
Okay, was
Terry.
But that was
Terry.
Okay, great that you sang it. Okay, someone else to do the last two verses before.
Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Okay, and then we have the last verse, Atahu Shaktir. Oh, someone else like to read that?
Atahu.
I can.
Okay.
Sandy, Atahu Hebrew Avotenu Lifaneka Es Keteres Hasamim.
Okay, thank you. So, how are you finding the Hebrew reading? Are you all, do you think that the level is okay for you? Are you comfortable reading it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, I think it's difficult for me.
Okay.
I don't want to slow the class down.
So do you want to see if you can get into a beginner class, or do you want to try to, or do you want to meet the challenge?
Well, I love to meet challenges, but I don't want to be stressed about it. I'm doing this to enjoy it.
There's no reason.
So I'll check out the beginner class.
Okay. All right. And if you change your mind, you're welcome to come back.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. And you're welcome to stay on until, for the rest of this class as well.
And how long is the class?
That's an interesting question. I'd like to keep it about an hour.
Okay.
I think that most of us max out on Zoom after an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, this was my first teaching on Zoom, so I'm kind of all over the place. Now that I know what skills I need to improve to make it more, I will work on those over the next couple of weeks. If also, I mean, we can go through this text, but if there are specific prayers that you want to work on, that's not in sequence, let me know, and I can just put it up like I did this page, the Ein Kelohenu, and we can go through it. We can go through it line by line and and read it and gain proficiency with that. So let me know about that as well. Do you have any questions about Ein Kelohenu and what its purpose is, and when we read it? Any questions about what we've done? And just call out, because I'm going to close out of stopping to share so that I can see your faces. We have a we're how do I want to say this? We're honored to have Julia with us today. Julia is the education co-chairperson, checking up on me.
No, just making sure there's no technical difficulties.
No, well, we all got on, and that was fine. I'm the one who's having the technical difficulties with Zoom, but Jen was gracious to work with me, so I'll be in touch with her, and we'll set up a time to get that done. I think Ein Kelohenu is pretty simple. I would say if you want to practice it over the next couple of weeks, by all means, open your Siddur and sing it. We sing, those of us who are in shul regularly, we sing it. So, feel free, if you have any questions, feel free to call me. But I think I'm going to call it now so that I can kind of review what we did, what I need to do to make this class better and to improve my proficiency in teaching on Zoom. I hope that you'll all come back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And, and I think that, if nobody has any specific requests, then then next in the book is Aleinu, and we'll go on to Aleinu. So I wish you all this. I have a new.
Can I just say one? I just want to say one thing. I really like the explanations and the kind of giving us the kind of the behind the scenes of the prayer, which is nice. But I still feel like I'm super slow in reading, so I'm hoping that I'm going to stay on. But I'm hoping I'm going to practice.
Well, do practice, and you have my contact information. If you want to do a FaceTime or a personal Zoom to work on some of the words, we can set that up. I'm happy to do that.
I just think that, it's been 3 years and, you forget like things and you do things by heart. So you're in shul and you're doing it by heart. And then,
but now you know the sequence of Ein Keloheinu. So
right. You just got to stop looking at the transliteration.
I just really found that fascinating. It just changed my whole approach to Ein Keloheinu. I don't need to look at the book anymore.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So any other comments, any other questions? Yes, Terry.
Sandy.
Sandy, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Were you raising your hand? I'm sorry.
I was, Sandy.
Yeah.
I just encourage people to, following up what was just said, to read some of the fine print that was in the book, because this is the one prayer that I knew by heart from growing up. But I never knew how it was put together with the Amen and then the base and olive that you start at the end and go to the beginning, and all the things about how this used to be the end of the service, and then Aleinu was added, and then Adon Olam, and then you come back to the beginning. But I found all of the discussion that in the fine print, really added the meaning to it that I never knew. So if people have time, I encourage them to kind of read all the fine print to get the meaning of it. At least it increased the meaning for me.
Beth, did you have your hand raised?
I was wondering if you had any recommendations for further study if we feel that we need remedial work on even the Hebrew letters. Is there anything online that we could look at?
Good question.
I don't know offhand, but I can certainly talk with Julie, and I can talk afterwards. Julie, do you have any? I'm going to ask you to unmute, Julia. Do you have any suggestions?
I guess what I would say is we sent you a copy of the Shalom Aleichem book, right, Amy, that they're using in the beginner class.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That maybe if you wanted to send that out as a review, I mean, if you know it, then you would have it as a reference. In the beginner class, they're going to be going through that book at a much slower pace. But if you already know the letters and you just want to go over it, that could be a good reference for you too. So if you want to send that out, Amy, that's fine.
Esther, do you want me to send that to you? Can you
Yes.
Okay, I will.
Amy, could you send that to me too, Beth?
I'll send it to everybody.
But you don't have.
Sounds wonderful.
I don't think you have my address. Do you have?
I just took it off the chat.
I only sent you my email and my phone.
Oh, I'm gonna. Do you want me to send you a hard copy?
No,
it's a PDF version, just like the Ein Keloheinu.
Okay, fine. So you'll send me the PDF. You have my email. Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Amy, would you send me one also?
I'm going to send it to everybody. And either, if you need it, great. If not, then just store it. Is that okay?
That sounds good.
And there
Sounds really good.
One last thought before I say Shabbat Shalom is, since we are going to be meeting on Fridays, Erev Shabbat, I thought it would be fun if if we could, a few of us could just, if there was something special about that particular Shabbat that you wanted to share, we could have like a Shabbat share. It could be that I'm seeing my grandchildren for the first time in like 6 months, just something special going on in your community that you wanted to share with us and your family. So I'm calling it the Shabbat share, and we can start our class off, in 2 weeks with Shabbat share.
Okay.
So, okay. Sandy?
Yeah, I want to follow up on something that was said earlier. I went into earlier this week and, just was looking at the vowels and the vowel sounds. And, somebody mentioned that, I also grew up learning that it was the aw sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to people, like when we say Kaddish and whatever, it seems that, many of us are still saying that. But then I saw that, that particular vowel also kind of had a different sound now. So I don't know if maybe you could address that. I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to shift over, but,
Sure. I want to say 100 years ago when Hebrew was first became a living language, before Hebrew became a living language, when you saw that aw sound, that's how it was read, but modern Hebrew has changed that aw to an ah. So when you see that aw, it's, the Ashkenazi Hebrew, the Hebrew of the Shtetl, the Hebrew of 200 years of Eastern Europe. That's where we have that aw sound. But modern Hebrew took over the Sephardic pronunciation of that vowel, which is an ah. So with very few exceptions, which I can't think of offhand, certain words, I know when I do a Haftorah, there are certain times when even though it's an aw, we still pronounce it as an aw. But 99% of the time when we see that vowel sound, it's an ah. And the same with the letter taf. That in the Ashkenazi Hebrew was read as an S sound, but when we started using modern Hebrew, that became a T sound. So
I will say in that in the first Shalom Aleichem book where they're teaching the letters, they have the O, the Vav with the dot above it, and it says like ought. You pronounce it like the O in ought instead of an O. And my son told me, and I had never heard this before, but I thought it was so great. He said, the way you remember the vowel sounds is that the Vav with the dot in the middle, that's the oo, that's like you're being punched in the stomach and you go, ooh. But when it's above, you go, oh, it missed me.
Faye, I don't see your face, but I don't have you on my class list. So if you could email to me or text me your contact information, that would be great.
Oh, you know what? I thought that was a beginner class. So this is not. I mean, I know some Hebrew. I can follow what you were had on the screen, but this is not a beginner class because I don't know, the information they have sent me. It had that that Zoom address. So maybe I'm in the wrong class then.
I have her down for one of the beginner classes, and it must have been just that the Zoom either got mixed up, so you can decide.
Yeah. You know what? I would like to try the beginner class, but is the same time as this class?
Yes.
Okay. So that's, I don't know, maybe because so I shouldn't have this Zoom class. I mean,
right,
that information to send it to me. Is that right?
Send you the link, and I'm sure there's going to be some moving around after this class. So
yes, please. I mean, if you send me the for the beginner that information, because that's what I had. So actually, I got into the class late and I had the wrong time. So but anyway, yeah, I would appreciate it if you send me the that information.
Okay, Sure.
Okay, so just if you could just let Julia know if you're going to be changing, Julia and me know if you're going to be changing into the beginner class, that would be great. But otherwise, I wish you all Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom, and we're on our road. We're on our way to. We have begun our journey. Let's put it that way. And I will see you all in 2 weeks from now. Same time, same place.
Thanks, Amy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bye.
And Amy, if you just send me a quick email, then we can set up a time and we can talk.
Okay, that would be great. And I'm available in the evening. You just said that you work, so I'm definitely available in the evenings.
Beautiful.
Okay. All right, Jen. Thank you very much. And thanks to everybody who joined in today.